On this week's episode of Gotham, Penguin returns, Vigilantes rise up, and tension brews between Captain Sarah and Barbara. So at the beginning of this episode, we see Penguin returning to Gotham. His home, his glorious destiny awaits him in Gotham, and he knows this and he feels this deep within him, and he's willing to do whatever it takes to rise to the top. What we know about the Penguin from the comic books and other sources, that he will do whatever it takes to be number one in power, number one most feared. The Penguin in this series seems to be totally about that. He will get rid of whoever he thinks is in his way. He'll keep whoever he thinks will help him make his way towards power, towards greater power. You see how really demented and messed up he is. At the beginning, you see him see all these crimes taking place, all these horrendous crimes, and he's just blissful. He just loves it. He can't even contain himself. Smile goes across his face. He just loves this chaos, and he loves seeing the decay of the city, because the more the city decays, the more easy it's going to be for him to gain power and start ruling over sections of Gotham and people. Another very important thing we saw in last night's episode was the rise of Vigilantes. You see that the city's getting even more and more chaotic, and very quickly at that, and people are starting to become scared and impatient, and they want to take it into their own hands. That is when we see the Balloonman trying to get rid of all these corrupt and evil, essentially, people that the system doesn't seem to care for or doesn't do anything with. So people are rooting for this Balloonman, who is tying people up and sending them up into the atmosphere in a weather balloon, which will lead to their death and have them come down eventually. People are actually rooting for this guy. They want these terrible, corrupt people off the streets, out of office. So this is just the beginning of severe vigilantism in Gotham. We see it later on with lots of different villains. I say villains in quotes because they have good intentions, but they act them out very poorly and very evilly and disgracefully. We also see Bruce Wayne is getting more concerned with the state of the city, and I think this is a city he loved. It's a city his parents loved, and it's affecting him immediately. He's starting to feel all this anger and darkness, and he wants to do something about it, but he can't. And he's pondering. You can see that he's deeply pondering. And I also love his relationship with Alfred. I love what they show. It's very playful. It's almost brotherly, more than maybe like a father-son dynamic. It's like he's sort of like his older brother. That's the feeling I get from them too. But even Alfred is pretty distant from Bruce. Bruce seems just very distant towards Alfred at a lot of the time. Even when they do have their playful moments, like with the sword fight, there's a lot of distance there. Bruce is constantly pondering what he could possibly do about this situation, and he's not sure yet, but I think he's getting there. Another important thing we saw in last night's episode was a bit of the old relationship between Barbara and Captain Sarah. In the comic books, they were together, they were partners, and it seems like they're gonna stick with that story here. There's a lot of jealousy and animosity going on between those two, maybe some unresolved feelings from Captain Sarah's end and maybe Barbara's end, but we're not sure yet. I'm really interested to see how that story plays out with Captain and Barbara, and I want to see what other vigilante baddies end up popping up out of the woodwork, and I want to see Bruce's slow descension into sort of anger over the city just falling to pieces. It's just getting worse and worse, and we have Gordon trying to just fix everything, but he realizes that it's not going to be possible. He can't do it all by himself, even though he wants to, and he really wants to, and he just cannot see the city like this. He wants to see it better, and he'll do whatever it takes. I hope you guys like this, and I hope you're enjoying Gotham so far. If you like this video, comment, like, subscribe, share. It's all good with me. So I'll see you guys next week on Gotham Impressions, and have a good week, guys. I'll see you next time.